And that thing is going, when I pulled up, it's going to tell you.
We got black Latinos and Native Americans. When the Lord says that our kingdom is to come, as long as we follow the law, statutes, and commandments.
I got the camera bag, I'm the cameraman. If shit getting active, I'ma stand it down. We taking ground, call an ambulance. That shit go right, right. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go. If you got a problem, we'll handle it. Niggas acting hard, you better stand on it. We on every corner, we stamping it. You better get your life for this camp shit. We ain't playing around, there's no cowards, dog. If niggas charged up, you get powered off. Rude of speech, keep it raw. It ain't my fault that you niggas soft. It ain't my fault that these niggas frauds. It ain't my fault that them niggas rats. If your colors fly, you don't get that shit go. Right, left. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go left. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go.
When I go to war, gotta hop into the van. Tryna cut the semen, something you don't understand. Getting tough from my betterment, better take it like a man. Nigga, how you walk away for camp? If you willing to die, you better be willing to stand. Take a trip around the world, see a bunch of corners held by them UPK niggas. All them UPK niggas go to camp. And I'm on Shamar here, hanging out the car. Wonder when I pull up straight to the battlefield. And I'ma make sure niggas make it back home. Say, nigga, what you thought? When anything moving, I be on. Gotta remind them, we nothing like them niggas that you saw. If you hear back up, that'll be your last time to get out the way. The price to pay before.
That shit go.
Nah, for real though.
If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go left.
Nah, for real though.
If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that.
Y'all about to give y'all shot right there. Move that song. Move that song. Move that song. The Father we fear. The Father we fear. Yahweh. Israel. Israel. Israel.
Damn right, man. Welcome everybody, man. The water for joining us in this great Tuesday. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabaraka Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shemala Thumb Bashim Yahweh Shah to the sisters. You understand what I'm saying? We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 112th, 125th Harlem, New York, man, under Commanding General Yohana. And man, listen, man, I hope y'all was tuned in to Mighty Priest and Officer 5000 Captain. That's a prophecy.
I don't know about that.
That's a prophecy right there. Officer Uriah. That's a prophecy right there. You know, the brother's gonna be a captain. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, man. But I hope y'all was in tune to his class yesterday and Captain Altazar's class last week. And every officer in general who did a class this month, you understand, this is the most horrible month of the year. Why? Because the white man and our so-called leaders, our pastors, got us the shortest month of the year to pay homage to our blackness. You understand what I'm saying? So what we gonna do is, man, I know y'all see the title up there, man. all of these pastors, MLK, all of these brothers, man, today who calling themselves pastors, all these people are just evil. They are agents of chaos. Some of these brothers are actually agents. You know, we're gonna go over the biggest agent of them all. You understand? Martin Luther King. You understand what I'm saying? And we're gonna show you in the Bible that the Lord didn't call Martin Luther King or none of these so-called pastors or prophets. The only prophets that the Lord has called in this earth today are the prophets that come out of One West, man, under commanding General Yohana, man. The ISUPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. You understand? We are the only brothers who are permitted to teach this Bible. We are the only men permitted to speak what the Lord has spoken. The Lord speaks to commanding General Yohana, and he tells us what to then in turn say to you all. You understand? And it has been like that since the beginning of time. You understand? So what we're going to do is, man, there's so much here. I'm going to bring out this scripture, right? And I want y'all to first understand, take these glasses off. I want y'all to understand. I want y'all to understand this and understand this good. There is a certain description and a certain way that you have to be a leader over the Lord's people, right? You don't just come out the woodworks, you understand, and say you've been sent by the Most High, and then you teach something other than what he's told you to teach. How do we know this? Okay. I'm going to start with Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy. Okay. I'm going to go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1. All right. And I'm going to start at 13. I'm going to just take this one out of here with 13. All right. And it says, book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 13. Take you wise men. All right. Well, we got to understand, first of all, this is talking to the children of Israel. This is what Moses is telling us, that what the Lord has told him to tell us. You understand? Moses brought us out of Egypt with the hand, by a mighty hand of the Lord. You understand? And it was so many of us out there. His wife, her father told him, listen, man, you need to delegate some of this, man. You need to delegate some of this work, man. You can't take all of this on to yourself, right? Right. So Moses, he goes out, right? He takes this advice, you know, this righteous advice, and he goes out. And this is what he said. He says, take you wise men. The key word is wise. To be wise means you have wisdom, right? You have wisdom. But if you have wisdom and you use it, that makes you wise. You understand? There are a lot of people that have wisdom, but they don't use it. So they're not wise. What makes you wise is when you actually live with the wisdom, which is the knowledge that you have, right? Now we're going to find out what this knowledge is that these wise men are supposed to have, all right? But I'm going to keep reading. It says, and understanding. Oh, there's the word understanding, meaning they understand the knowledge that they have, right? And known among your tribes, meaning they're known among their family line, which they come through, right? We know this is for the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? Those 12 sons that Jacob had. You understand what I'm saying? This is who Moses is addressing, right? And it says, and I will make them rulers over you. Listen, the men that are over that tell you what to do, right? That have these wise men that have this knowledge and understand this knowledge. These are the men that rule over you, which makes a ruling body, a ruling government. We're going to show you that ruling government as well in the Bible with Christ. You understand? These are the men that are supposed to rule over you. Now, and they have to be from the 12 tribes. You cannot rule over the Lord's people if you are not one of the Lord's people.
That's right.
This was not a spiritual Israel Moses was talking to. This was the physical bloodline. All right. I'm going to drop that. We're going to go over. Right. Y'all stay with me too, because I'm going to kind of move through this a little bit because it's a lot I want to show y'all before the night over with. All right. I'm going to go to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 4. All right. We're going to stay in Deuteronomy for a minute. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Right. Now, this is the knowledge, right? This is the knowledge and the wisdom, right? This is what these wise men know. This is what they rule, and this is why they rule over the people. They rule over the people because, once again, they are the government. They teach the people this wisdom, and this is the wisdom. Every nation has these men over them in their country, right? Deuteronomy 4 and 5, it says, behold, I have taught you statutes, right? What is a statute? Statute is, anybody can tell me what a statute is? Can anybody tell me what is a statute? Anybody? Give y'all a second. Because we got to understand this, man. You know, we got people around here teaching, you know, oh, God forgave you. God died. Jesus. And everybody in the church is a homo. Everybody in the church touches little children. Everybody in the church hates their brother, hates their neighbor. You understand? And the man who is in that building, the leader, the man that has the rule over them, he just has a great voice.
Right.
He has a great, oh, just give the money. Give the money. That voice sounds so good when that plate get passed around, don't it?
Right.
Don't it? It sounds so good. It even have you crying in there. That voice gets so good when that plate come out.
Yep.
Put the money in the basket.
Yep.
Don't ask no questions. Don't ask why the drugs in your community. Don't ask. You understand why you're being unalived by the police. Don't ask why you're so impoverished, but just know God in the city. He in the city. God is in the city. I don't know well, right. But he in the city. You understand? You're going to put your money in there. All right? A statute is this. This is what a statute is. It's like a law, right? It's a law. It's an ordinance. You understand? That's what a statute is, right? It says, I have taught you statutes and judgments. The judgment, okay, if you have a statute, meaning this is a law or a rule that you should abide by. The judgment is what happens when you break it. You understand? The Christian church teaches what? That God loves the sinner. He just hates the sin. But the Bible says that God hates the sin and the sinner. Christ taught, be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is. The book 1 John chapter 3 literally says, I think verse 15, am I correct, sir? Verse 15. Yeah. It says, those that love me keep my commandments. That's right. The commandments are the laws and the statutes. The commandments, the laws that govern a people. Laws govern you. as a people. Why do you think America is such a hellhole? Because the laws here do not govern the people. Because one side of the people, the laws were made for. The other side of that law, it was made to oppress a people. This is why Martin Luther King was so evil, because he tried to bring the two together. And it wasn't that he tried to bring them together, you know, just because he thought it was a good thing. He said God told him to do it. This is why Martin Luther King was the most evil bastard, in my eyes, to ever live in the modern. He is the most evil bastard, I think, that made it through Prohibition. The brother was evil, man. He was evil. And I know some of y'all sit and watch like, oh man, you know, you got to forgive. You got to forgive. You got to forgive him. The Lord forgave him with one of these to the head. You understand? Because he lied with his dream, with his orgy. And he told our people to come together, bow ourselves down. His whole approach to civil rights was this: that if we get beat enough, if we let them put dogs on us, if we let them shoot us with these water hoses, and we catch it on camera, it would make other white folks have sympathy for us. First of all, that is the dumbest thing ever, to tell somebody to let someone unalive them so that they can understand that they are wrong. That is not something that a wise man would tell someone. To lose your life so that someone who doesn't care about your life can have respect for it. Martin Luther King should not have been a leader. He was not a man that was supposed to have been chosen. Moses would have not chose Martin Luther King to be a captain over 50, a captain over 20s, a captain over 10s. He would not have chosen him to be an officer. Do you understand that? Martin Luther King was in bed with communists and all the interests of the so-called oppressor. We're going to prove it. We're going to prove it. We're going to prove it, right? But first, I'm going to keep giving you these scriptures, man. It says, even as the Most High my power commanded me that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. You understand? We were supposed to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments in the land that the Lord was going to give us, the land that he was going to take from other people. This is why I don't understand why everybody say that God want everybody to just hold hands and be together. If that was the case, why didn't the Lord just say, hey, go over there and share the land with the Africans? Go over to this land over here, milk honey, and share it with them. That's not how things work. It's not how it works in the Bible. Hell, that ain't how it works in Islam. Right. Do you understand? Muhammad himself, the people in all them little lands over there that's calling themselves Muslims, listen, man, Muslim religion was pushed on them by being conquered. It's a century. Those people worshiping Muhammad in a rock, they're worshiping the moon. Muhammad worshiped the moon. The moon god and the blood god and his 3 daughters. That's another class. We're going to stick right here to the Christian church. You understand? Because we all know what Muslims worship. We all know that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He took on, he got this taught to him by some Caucasian man that told him he was going to die and come back. There's your God, black Muslim. Right. Muhammad Far, what his name is, from Detroit, who was a criminal. That's your Lord and Savior. Listen, whether it's worshiping a rock or worshiping a wooden cross, it's all white supremacy. But what you got to ask yourself is this: why? Why do we follow so much of white supremacy? It's because the people like Martin Luther King that were put over us, the so-called people who we put over ourselves, who forced their way on the scenes and say, look, no, we're going to be the leaders. We're going to be the leaders of the people. They all did it for gain, for personal gain. They didn't do it because they was called for God, because this is the language that a lot of, we're going to show you the language that real prophets use towards people that are not of God's people. We're going to show it and we're going to keep proving it. But we're going to keep going with this, all right? It says, keep that, verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. It says, choose wise men from among you. Here's the word wisdom. It just said what? The statutes and judgments. I have taught you these. I have taught you these statutes, meaning I have taught you these rules. I have taught you this moral standing. This is what you do to live, to govern yourself, to see who is what? Who is in fault of doing something wrong. And if it's wrong, how do you correct it? This is the way you should live. This is the way you should treat each other. This is the way you should sell. If you're a seller, if you're a buyer, this is what you should buy. This is who you should buy from. This is what you should eat. This is what you should not eat. Right? Oh, man. I think y'all already see right now that Martin Luther King damn sure wasn't sent by the Most High just off that. Martin Luther King never taught a sermon telling people to do what God said do, to keep the commandments according to the scriptures. Martin Luther King never read Deuteronomy 4 in church at all. Never. He never read this to the people. He never told people in his congregation that Christ was a black man from the tribe of Judah. He never told anyone in his congregation that the children of Israel were the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who were being persecuted and oppressed together in the northern hemisphere and all over this globe by every other race in the earth. Martin Luther King never taught that. That is in the Bible. So, like, sir, if I could I get that the slide that had the Edomite woman standing in front of it? That said, come on, come, sir. I'm gonna keep reading this for him, sir, if I could, sir. And it says, this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. That means what the Lord taught us, we were supposed to live and die by that in front of these other nations. When these other nations say, well, what would you do to someone that did such and such and such and such? We would refer to the law that the Lord gave us, and we would handle it accordingly. And they would see that, man, listen, the way we do it, that ain't right. It's not, this way ain't working for us. But we were supposed to stand on our own laws. And some would say, well, how is he supposed to? He's teaching out of a book, right? He's teaching out of a book that is about God, that is about Christ, that is about a group of people, the 12 tribes of Israel, and what happened to them. He's supposed to be teaching you from a book, and he doesn't even know the book. But the Lord brought his spirit back into the earth in 1969. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. I want y'all to understand this. By 1968, every single black organization, every single hibbity, poppity, pro-black, February Black History Month group was destroyed. They didn't make it into the 70s. They were gone. They were destroyed. Malcolm X was unalive. Martin Luther King was unalive. Huey P. Newton was unalive. The Black Panther Party just became the Muslims. That's it. They start selling drugs. in the same community that they swore they was going to protect. The Crips and the Bloods and all of this big talk of pro-blackness, they all became criminals. And it's because the so-called oppressor was able to exploit all of them, because guess what? They didn't care about the people. Right. They were trying to all one by one figure some type of way to where they can exploit everyone to get what they wanted. Some of them probably did. I do think some brothers and sisters that stood up for civil rights, some of them did want it. But when you're lustful, it gets in the way. You understand? When you're not chosen to lead the people. The only people that can lead God's people are, first of all, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men. There are no women leaders. You understand? We didn't need any women standing up and strapping bombs and carrying guns, and we didn't need that. That wasn't needed in the Bible. Because men were men. We knew what we had to do. We didn't need our women going out and fighting. We needed our women to be home, making sure everything is okay in the home, helping the home, making sure that the children are in line, making sure that the other women and sisters are in line. That's what we needed. And guess what? A lot of that was going on in them 50s and 40s and 60s. Those women knew their place. But it's because these wicked behind leaders and these men who claim to be the leaders of the people, they started messing up the fabric in the interior. You understand? And plus, the Lord wasn't with us at all. You understand? But the Lord got with a man named Abba Bivens. You understand? And so on and so on. And it fell into the hands and right into the lap of commanding General Yohanan. And the generals and the captains and the officers in this school. The Spirit of God is here. Why? Here it is. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great? People look at us now and they can see the greatness. They see it. But you know what they use it for? They use it for Super Bowl drama. They use it for Super Bowl drama. There are really Hispanic people that their children are gone. We don't know where they are. It takes a damn Super Bowl performance just to get you to say, oh, he was doing this. The only thing the Super Bowl performance with Bad Bunny or Bad whatever his name is, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the game, none of it. But Bad Bunny and Kendrick Lamar, the only thing those Super Bowl performances showed me, everybody said, oh, they said it and it's woke and it's, listen, man, let me tell you something. If it takes for that to tell you something's wrong, then God help us. God help us. If it took Bad Bunny and Kendrick Lamar to come out and do all this kind of symbolism to tell us that it's something wrong with Donald Trump, God help us. I want, Salakia, sir, I just want to take the chair and push it all the way back through the wall back here, sir. Just throw myself through the wall.
I feel it.
I want to run into traffic. Is that what it takes for us to see that Donald Trump is a racist and he does not care about blacks, Hispanics, or Native Indians? Is that what it takes? Maybe you should listen to the niggas, spicks, and savages on the corners every Saturday in the ISUPK. But if that's what it takes, so be it. If it takes Bad Bunny to bring you into the ISUPK and the Commander General, so be it. If it takes Kendrick Lamar's halftime dance and diss at Drake to get you to understand that, listen, they don't care about us, so be it. He's not your leader, though. Bad Bunny is not your leader. Commanding General Yohana is your leader. Officer 5000 Yaraj is your leader. You understand? Officer 5000 Tawashab Loyal in Florida is your leader. Captain Natazak is your leader. You understand? General Muhammad is your leader. You know why? Because he keeps the wisdom and the knowledge, and he understands it, and he lives it. They all do. Martin Luther King was a sinner, and he kept sinning. He never kept righteousness. We're going to keep going with this, man. All right? Bibbidi bobbidi. I'm going to drop that one.
Still one of that picture?
Colonel Khan, sir, could you put that up for me? All right. It's about to get to the thick of it. All right. Now, we still talking about these prophets, right? I want y'all to see and look at this picture right here, though. What does that say? Everybody see that? That's an Edomite woman with an Edomite child. And of all the things you could take a picture in front of on your family vacation, right? This is what they took a picture in front of. No niggers, no Mexican, no Puerto Rican, or dogs allowed. Let me tell you Hispanic something, and you other black folks out there, you Native Indians something. They oppress us together. I didn't need Bad Bunny to do the Super Bowl in Spanish for me to know that white people hate Hispanics. You want to know how I know? Look at the side. No niggers, no Mexicans, no Bad Bunny at Super Bowl. Puerto Rican. And look how they spell Puerto Rican. The white man is an idiot. Porto. P-O-R-T-O. Puerto Rican. The white man is an idiot.
And Salaki, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
And you know, of course, he's an absolute idiot, right? However, they know where the word Puerto Rican comes from. It means rich port.
Exactly. Exactly. They know that. But that's how they spell it. That's Bad Bunny right there, right? Puerto Rican. Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican. He's right before or dogs. But you want to know somebody, they're comparing us to dogs, but you want to know why they called it? Because Christ compared a white woman to a dog. That's in the Bible. Christ would look at a white person now and call them a dog. Christ did not come to die for Donald Trump. Christ did not come to die for that woman and her baby. Why would he? Because when this sign was up right here, guess what was going on? MLK was trying to do what? I have a dream. I have a dream that one day the white woman on that picture and her little white girl will hold my hand. I'm going to get this scripture what a prophet is. Martin Luther King said he was a prophet. He said he was sent by the Lord. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, starting at verse 15. The Most High thy power will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee. Meaning the Lord would just, you know what the mist is, right? In the midst of it, is the mist just means in the mix of us, in between us, from out of us. You know how we talk. You understand? He chose somebody out the mix. He just pop up. Like in 1969, Albert Bivens just popped up. You understand? How Commanding General Hunter just popped up. You understand? And all of these great brothers, generals, and captains, and officers that come right on down the line until today. Right? Just keep going. Of thy brethren. Here it is. Who is your brethren? Chat, who's your brethren? Who's your brethren, chat? I know who my brother is. I know who my brothers are. You understand? It's the same brothers walked around in the 60s and, what's up, brother? What's up, Jive Turkey? White men didn't talk like that. This is how you know this book is for us. We say things like that, brother. What's up, my brother? From another mother. Yeah, that's us. Your brethren is your people, man. Your people. Your neighbor is the one who lives in the neighborhood with you. White people don't live in the barrios, in the ghettos. You might have one or two dusties. You know, they mama and daddy, you know, just wanted crack so bad. They was like, you know, I don't give a damn about the inheritance. I'm gonna go and get the crack. The crack is in the black neighborhood, man.
Right.
In the Hispanic neighborhood, you got the cocaine. We gonna just be poor amongst them and get the good dope. Right. That's how that one white boy that did. Them white boys, though, that be, boy, they done some horrendous crimes. Some horrendous crimes. Some uncivilized junk to prove itself to be around you, too, if you know one, you know? But that's another story. But listen, that's how it goes. That's who your neighbor is, your brother. My brethren are Hispanics, Native Indians, in the so-called Negro of the slave trade. You understand? Throughout the West Indies, South, Central America, scattered abroad. You understand? Those are my brothers. Niggas, spicks, and savages. You understand? That's what they called us. That's what we saw in the sign. Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. You understand? Right? Those are my brothers. The only person that can lead me is Hispanic Native Indian or a black brother. Can't no white man come into this school. Can't no African man come in this school. Can't no Asian man come in this school and lead nobody. Okay? Like unto me, unto him ye shall hearken. Bill Clinton can't tell me nothing. Donald Trump can't tell me nothing. You understand? The preacher, the African preacher that wanna, oh, we come do this. We come together. We come together under Christ Jesus. No, we don't. I will not hold his hand. He will not tell me, come to the Lord Passover. Houston. Listen, man. If African man.
I am the way.
I am the way.
I am the way.
I am the way too. You study. What that African said to that boy? He said, if you die tonight and you open your eyes in heaven and I am not there, you are going to hell. That is what the African pastor told everybody. If you die tonight and open your eyes and I'm not there, you are in hell. You understand? Just scam me. You understand me? This is all because of Martin Luther King. That way in Africa, or African, you understand? Come and speak this loving kindness that's not even in the Bible, and they get over on our people. We want to be Shaka Utmost, Shaka Zulu. Bantu warriors. All the celebrities want to go and build schools. Oprah built a school in Africa, and them people lost their daughters. They still don't know where the little girls at. I hope Oprah don't build not one school here. She don't need to put no school in the black community because they're going to end up on Epstein Island. Don't get me started on that.
Right.
You understand? All right. Now we're going to drop down in verse 18. It says, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. You understand? Verse 19. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. Listen. Listen, man. The only thing that Christian pastors ever tell anyone in their church is how to prosper. That's it. And the people don't prosper. The people suffer. Do you want to know why mega churches become mega churches? Because Negroes who make $100,000 a year go into the church. Listen, black Christians with money, or black Christians, Hispanic Catholics, Christians, all the same, with money, do not go to church with the poor of their people. Y'all do know that, right? The church is the most segregated place on earth to this day. To this day. You literally call it black church and white church. And the world is literally black and white. Y'all don't go to no Asian church. Y'all don't go to no Asian church, but that little mixed little Asian pastor over there, I forgot his name, all of them at the TBN network, they get one of every race, don't they?
Right.
They get one of every race to come in and speak through your TV and get your money. Man, listen, man, I can't believe the Lord still got Peter Popoff alive.
Yep.
Peter Popoff is the biggest one. Peter Popoff tell you, if you just get this prayer rug and this water, the blessings of God will come into your home. I remember my grandma brought that water and that rug. I was drinking the water, spilled it, and used the rug to wipe it up. I was a little boy. I remember that. I remember my grandmother standing in front of the TV crying, lifting her hands up and sending her money to Benny Hinn. I guess you all know what happened with Benny Hinn, right? He was exposed for being false. Benny Hinn was the one that come and touch you. And if you didn't have legs, your legs didn't work, but Benny Hinn take a towel and hit you with it. You get up and run through the whole church. You take the towel, wind it up, and throw it. Hit you right in your face. Oh, my legs work. It's a miracle. Do you know how many black grandmothers died because they thought Benny Hinn was a man of God? Benny Hinn would not have been able to do that if it wasn't for Martin Luther King. You took Martin Luther King for a pastor, for a prophet, and therefore Benny Hinn and all of these other, Bishop T.D. Jakes, all of them could come in and swallow you whole. T.D. Jakes did it literally. You see, he's so quiet. He don't say nothing. He come up with Diddy. This is the whole point. That was the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King, to be Orgy Mike. And every pastor that followed behind him and teaches what he teaches, they are on the same thing. Because they are not wise men. They do not understand the Bible. They don't keep the law. Right? I'm going to keep going. Verse 20, but the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, meaning what the Lord is saying, but any man that comes, but that says he's a prophet and speaks a word in my name, what does it mean to speak in his name? What does that mean? What does it mean to speak in the name of the Lord? What does that mean? What are you speaking to when you speak in the name of Lord, of the Most High? Let me see if anybody knows that. Let me see. Let me see who. And if y'all notice, all of this is piggybacking right off the class from yesterday, man. And give Officer Yarash a mighty hand, man. That was an excellent class. You understand? And this is piggybacking right off of it, because all people have to understand Black History Month is evil. It is evil. And right now, this Black History Month, you want to know what's going on that ain't? Where all the talking pastors at? Where all the pastors at this Black History Month? I'll tell you where they are. Nowhere to be found, because they don't have the answers. They don't have the answer. The Mexican priest, Catholic priest, don't got the answer for why ICE is taking the babies. He doesn't have the answer. He doesn't have it. Padre don't got it. He don't got it. He walk around swinging that damn thing with the smoke coming out of it and doing it the Devon Dudley all day, and he don't got the answers to why this is happening to them. I'll tell you why. Because the so-called men that are over you are not wise. They aren't teaching you that if you don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments because you are Israelites, you're going to have Donald Trump as your ruler. You're going to be called niggers, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans, and you're not going to be allowed to be inside of a restroom or drink from a water fountain. And your leader, your biggest leader, Martin Luther King, is going to tell you to let go of your Black school. Let go of your Black hospital. Let go of your Black community and join it to this oppressor because of his dream. And we're showing you what the dream is. Just keep following, all right? It says, verse 20. This is in Deuteronomy 18. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which means to speak in the reputation of the Most High. You understand? Commanding Jerry Hunter commands and demands that every man in this school be perfect. You have to be perfect. You can't tell someone not to smoke weed and you smoke weed. You can't tell someone to not sell drugs and you sell drugs. You can't tell a whore to stop being a whore and you love whores. You can't tell a brother to love another brother and you hate them. Do we understand that? So when we speak the words of God. We speak in the name of the Most High. We speak in his reputation. His reputation should always be held to the highest standard. So when a man speaks in the reputation of the Lord, you better be speaking to it in the truth. Right? Let's keep going. And it says, which I have not commanded him to speak. The Lord said, if this prophet comes along and I have not told him to speak in my name, in my reputation, if I did not come and tell him to tell you this thing he's about to say, watch this. Or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. Even that prophet shall die. Listen, there is no conspiracy, brothers and sisters, why MLK was unalived. He was unalived because he lied on the name and reputation of the Most High God of Israel. Give the Lord a hand. Because the Lord said, let every man be a liar, but let God be true. That was a true statement. That is true knowledge and wisdom that the Lord gave right there. Deuteronomy 18 and 20. Show it to Mama and Pawpaw. Show up. Maybe it'll help with her cholesterol. Huh? Maybe you can help her keep her legs instead of watching Benny Hinn and Peter Popoff and rubbing dish detergent on her leg after she done paid $29.95 for it. Thinking he a man of God. And the Lord just said, what? What did he just say? It's to be from your brethren. Peter Popoff is a white man. He shouldn't even have the Bible in his hands unless he's reading, he who leddeth into captivity shall go in captivity. That's what he should read. But instead, he's preying on black women because of Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King is the reason we have TBN. Martin Luther King is the reason why Television Bible Network exists. Martin Luther King is the reason why that wicked Negro singer who became a pastor, I don't even know how these brothers becoming pastors. We're going to get into that too. Telling people, lock the doors. Lock the door. Where in the Bible did God tell someone to give Negro Bynum any money? Where is that? Can someone in the chat please show me that? Get it to me. Find me the book, chapter, and verse. Please post it. You understand? Bibbidi bobbidi. I'm gonna drop down to verse 22. When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Most High, if the thing follow not nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken. Martin Luther King said he had what? I have a dream. I have a dream that one day little black boys and little white boys and little black girls and little white girls will hold hands. I have a dream today. That dream has not happened. In fact, Martin Luther King out his very own mouth saw that dream not happen. After he knew he was wrong. Because he knew that somebody was going to say, this nigga led us astray. And he come out and say it on an interview with Harry Belafonte. Yes, I feel as if I've led my people in a burning house. Negro, you knew you was leading us astray the whole time. Right. He knew he was leading us astray. And then he come back later with that, I've seen the mountaintop. No, Negro, you saw the Lord getting ready to take your life. The angels were in heaven raising their hands to the Most High as he sat on his throne and said, who will go down? Y'all don't know nothing about that one. That's another lesson. That's in the Bible as well. The angels raise their hands and take up the mission to destroy those wicked pastors and those wicked men who are supposed to be, who put themselves and say that they are prophets of God, and they are not. Right. These very angels even did that to Saul. It said, one of the angels stood up in the book of 1 Samuel. He said, hey, the Lord said, who will go down and do this and this and thus to Saul? One of the angels stood up and said, I will go and be a lying spirit in the mouth of the prophets. And listen, and let me tell you something what's so bad about Martin Luther King. The same people who he spoke to, the people that follow him, look where they at now. Right. That's what happens when you follow a wicked man. The Lord don't care because you followed him. You should have stopped and asked yourself, this ain't right. You want to know how the pastors today are wrong? They don't even read from the books. You can't ask a question in Jamal Bryant Church. You better not. You better not. But the Lord just told us in these scriptures that he requires the life of those pastors, man. I'm going to go, if I could, sir, could you put up the first picture of Al Sharpton? I want y'all to understand something here, man. These are the people, man, that we're putting our lives in their hands, man. You understand? We got to understand this, man. I'm going to read this precept, Colossians 2:8, while the other one pulls that up, man. The book of Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. And it says, beware lest any man spoil you. How does a man spoil someone? What does it mean to spoil someone? What does it mean to spoil someone? All right. And I want to get through this. So for time's sake, to spoil someone is to take from them and make them less desirable. That's what it means to spoil someone. To make them less desirable. This Negro right here, look at that. First of all, I wouldn't even follow a Negro that looked like that. Al Sharpton couldn't have came to Nail Ghetto and say, hey, boy, follow me. I'd have robbed him. I'd have did something to him. Slapped something. Drop kicked him. Something would have happened. He would not have came in the Robles Park Projects and told me about no God, no Bible, nothing. He better have been coming to buy some or drop some off. You understand me? Look at that Negro right there. Just keep looking at that. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy, right? Martin Luther King and these pastors have a philosophy. Their philosophy is what? God loves everybody. These people continually led us to people that hate us and oppress us to help us build our lives up. Remember that, because I'm going to show you in the Bible a prominent prophet that did otherwise, because this is what our leaders are supposed to tell us, what the Lord says. Right. The Lord never told these men to join us to our oppressor. These people are our enemy. Officer Yarash brought out Deuteronomy 28:68 yesterday, that we will be sold to our enemies. Martin Luther King knew that we were these people, man, and we were sold to our enemies. But because of his dream, and I want y'all to remember that, because you're going to understand why the Lord took his life. He spoke of this dream. He spoke of this unity with this enemy to our people. And it spread. And all of these people that came up with him, Al Sharpton was side by side with him. And they became our leaders. And guess what? They led us and continually led us into not a burning house, but a slaughterhouse. You understand? And vain deceit. A vain deceit, man. To be vain is to be nothing. Vanity is nothing. It's unprofitable to be vain. You understand? These men came around spreading vain deceit, lies, telling us that one day these people will love us. And this is how these people were chosen. That's Al Sharpton, everybody. This is Al Sharpton, right? Slap you, sir. Could you put up the one where he's in the handcuffs? This is Al Sharpton outside the courthouse, right? He was arrested. Do you want to know where Reverend Al Sharpton was before he became, when he was being called Reverend Al Sharpton, and he wasn't even a reverend? I want y'all to see this, man. We're going to come back that right here, sir. That one right there. Al Sharpton spied on the mob for FBI after cocaine sting. Now, if y'all remember, he had to come out and give an account about this live on every network about him being an informant, because for some reason, black people didn't do their research on the leader. You didn't choose a wise man. Al Sharpton was a drug dealer. He got caught in a sting, and then he became an informant for the FBI, and he helped them round up the mob. Al Sharpton was a drug dealer who got arrested and told he's a rat. He is a rat. He was a drug dealer. at that nigga have. That ain't no informant. That nigga got a $300 ultra perm. That nigga had his laid and slayed.
Right.
The damn cuffs and the people grabbing them can't even mess it up. That's how stiff it is. That nigga got a $400 hairdo on his head. He was a drug dealer. He got caught, snitched, right? It tell you right there, he got caught up. And then he told Slocky, sir, if I could I get the paragraph on Big Al right here. Look at him. Hey! You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, man, let me tell you something, man. These people, man, oh my God. That's Jesse. The next one should he go right here. He go right here. Al Sharpton. I want y'all to show y'all where Al Sharpton. We know what he was before he got with Dr. King. These are the men that Martin Luther King surrounded himself. These are the men who was his top dogs. A rat who sold drugs. Stop me when I'm wrong, sir. Stop me when I'm wrong, sir. Please. Al Sharpton was ordained as a Pentecostal minister at the age of 9 or 10. Now, show me where a 9 or 10-year-old in the Bible was leading anybody. They say this man was ordained. Even Yahushua Mashiach, man, was not ordained at 9 and 10. What church this nigga went to? he was at the Little Rascal Church, right, with Buckwheat there. The He-Man Woman Hater Club Church. That's the church he was at. Minister age 9 or 10 around 1963, 1964, right? So he was 10 years old when Martin Luther King and all them doing their thing, right? It's the man right here. These men, they love Dr. King. You understand? Right? And it says by Bishop F.D. Washington at the Washington Temple Church of God in Christ in Brooklyn. Right? Known as a Wonder Boy preacher. I wonder what that is. What is a Wonder Boy preacher? You know what that is? Like you, I know I'm older than you, but
I've never heard.
You know, but you know, your wisdom is greater than my age. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so have you heard of that? Have you had a breakdown on the Wonder Boy? I don't know. We're gonna have to get Cap outside to do the breakdown of the Wonder Boy preacher. I don't know what that is. It sounds kind of Epstein Islandish to me. Right. If you ask me. He began preaching at age 4. Basically, what I'm trying to show y'all is all of this is bull crap. It's all a lie. The Negro wasn't ordained by nobody. He wasn't preaching nowhere. He wasn't doing nothing. He was a big drug dealer, a big wide-body drug dealer, you understand, who had an ultra. That's it. He ratted on the mob. But somehow he became Reverend Al Sharpton. You could go there and say later in 1994, he became a Baptist minister. So this nigga didn't become a Baptist minister. He didn't become Reverend Al Sharpton until the 90s. Tupac was rapping longer than this nigga was a reverend. He was being called Reverend Sharpton in the 80s. This is not a wise man of understanding. He does not teach you, thus saith the Lord. He teaches you we cannot do with the violence. All right? His ordination, right? Early life, began preaching at age 4, 1959. We know that's garbage. Ordination, licensed and ordained as a Pentecostal minister at age 9 or 10. How was that true when it said he didn't become a reverend until 1994? This is how you find lies. These men are liars. What does the book of Colossians say? It says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. What is the rudiments of the world, man? Love the white man. White supremacy. That is the rudiment of this world. Do as thou wilt. To follow after Satan. In the book of Revelation, it said that she made the whore of Babylon made the whole earth to drink of her wine and made them drunk. That is the rudiment that this man told you to go by. And this is how it starts. Being a liar. They're liars. Whoa. While he never served as a While he never served as a pastor for a single traditional congregation, the nigga wasn't a pastor. You know what, sir? Is a little traffic out there? Could you open the door so I can run straight out and just go in the street?
Crazy.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I need to get hit by 2026. Yeah, I got to go out in style. I can't get ran over by a putt-putt. I need to be hit by the newest Cadillac truck. Because this is mind-blowing, man. While he never served as a pastor, look at this though, ministry transition in 1994. He was rebaptized and became a Baptist minister in 1994. His role, while he never served as a pastor for a single traditional congregation, he has continued to preach throughout his career in activism. Salakia, sir, can we get off that Negro man and go to Jesse? Messy Jesse. Messy Jesse is another one the Lord said, beware these Negroes, man. These niggas is preachers and y'all calling them reverends, and they ain't even real preachers. These niggas don't got churches. At least Martin Luther King had a villain layer.
Can't go too many M-bombs.
Right. So he had an evil layer to take you into. Right? He had an evil castle to take you to called a church building. Right there. I went to the church. It's in Atlanta. When I used to live in Atlanta, my aunt and my uncle went there. Of course, they went there. You know, they make Tawab money. You know, they went there. They ain't going to Little Mount Zion, Little Rock on the side of the road. They ain't going there. That ain't where you go at when you got some money. You know, you're gonna sit in with the best of the best of the best. You understand? So I went to his little church, you know what I'm saying, and seen his sons and all them. You know, somebody in the family it was in there preaching at the time. He wasn't even in the family. It was just some dude they elected to be there at the church. You understand? But at least he had a church. He was really a preacher. You understand what I'm saying? These brothers here was not that. Al Sharpton, he a wonder boy preacher. I know what it means to be a wonder boy preacher. I wonder where he actually preached. I wonder how he's even being called a preacher. That's what a wonder preacher is. You understand? This is what's going on, brothers and sisters, man. Wow. Men have crept in unawares, man, like Colossians 2:8 said, and have spoiled us, man. You understand what I'm saying? They have led us astray, man, with our enemies, man. And I'm gonna pick up this verse. Go to the book of Ezra. The book of Ezra, right? And I'm gonna pull this scripture out, man, right? Ezra chapter 4, right? Instead of teaching all of us coming together, which is what Al Sharpton did, Martin Luther King did, and we're gonna get Messy Jesse in 1 second, right? We're gonna get him in a second. All right, we got good time. All right. Ezra verse 4. This is what these pastors should have been doing. No way should we have went to our oppressor for help to fix our people. How can you go to the people that destroyed you and ask them to then restore you? Does that make sense? How can you go to the people that destroyed you and ask them to help restore you? That does not make any sense. No man of God, no man speaking in the reputation of the name of the Most High would have done it. Right. I'm going to prove it right here with this verse. The book of Ezra, chapter 4, starting at verse 1. Now remember, these brothers are in captivity. They are oppressed. Every single prophet in this Bible was in oppression. They were not in Israel. Even Christ was oppressed. He was born in oppression. He was born under the foot and heel of the Roman Empire. Christ was born in what we are born in. You understand that, right? He was born when his people were being oppressed. Every single prophet, do you understand that is in this Bible? Every single one of them were in captivity. All of them. Why? Because the people were being led astray and following after other gods and other nations, because of the people who were supposed to be over them were either leaning and leading them to other nations as a prey, because it were trying to get a gain. You understand? They were trying to get something that they wanted, so they led their people astray. They led them from the voice of the Most High. And then the Lord had to raise up men out of the midst of them, prophets out of the midst of the chaos. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah. I'm gonna raise them up in the middle of the slaughter of you all, and they're going to lead you. They're going to be over you, and they are to speak what I have to say, whether you believe them or not. Here's another brother in captivity. Book of Ezra, chapter 4, starting verse 1. Now, when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin, right, heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple into the Most High God of Israel. Now, this is them being in captivity. I want to say, let me see. This is up under Darius. This is under the Persian Empire, right? This is under Darius. Y'all know the movie 300. Remember King Darius got shot with the arrow, then his son Xerxes and all of that. This is King Darius, though. This is who this is talking about. The king of Cyrus, king of Persia. You understand what I'm saying? Underneath Cyrus, right? Darius and all those people come from up under him. You understand? So this is their captivity, right? Let's jump back over. Now, when these people, right, there was a decree sent out that they were going to that Darius was going to let the children of Israel, right, rebuild the temple, right? He was going to let them rebuild their temple. So when they started to build the temple, something happened, right? And we're going to see what happened. Verse 2, then they came to Zerubbabel, right, and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us build with you. Now, these are Persians. These are the people who, hey, man, listen, this is a good thing, man. This is good. Y'all get to build a temple to y'all God. Man, listen, let us help. Listen, when we tell you that there are no good Edomites, there are no good oppressors, we mean that. Because these were the oppressors at this time. They come out, oh, man, let us help. Watch what a prophet of God said. It said, let us build with you, for we seek your God. They were saying, we want to serve your God too, right? Ain't that's America? We want to serve God. We want to serve the God of the Bible. Stay with me. We seek your God as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Asaradon, king of Ashur, which brought us up hither. So they saying, listen, man, we've been interested in y'all God for a long time. We've been sacrificing to him. That sound good, don't it? That sound good. We want to help y'all. We know y'all God. We want to serve him like y'all. We sacrifice to him. Watch this. Verse 3. But Zerubbabel and Joshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel, meaning the men, the leaders, the men of Israel stood up and said this: ye have nothing to do with us. Ye have nothing nothing to do with us. Why would Martin Luther King tell the so-called oppressor, let's join with them? They have nothing to do with us.
Right.
They had nothing to do with us. Your forefathers enslaved us. Why would we want you to help us? Why would we think just because you, man, yeah, I listen to rap music, man. I like basketball, man. I like the afro, man. You have nothing to do with us. African man, Asian man, European man, Filipino man. You have nothing to do with us. We don't need you to restore us. We don't need your help. Thus saith the men, the prophets. These are prophets of the Lord telling these nice people, right? You have nothing to do with us. To build an house unto our power. The word our is possessive. He's our power. That's why through the whole book it says, speak to the children of Israel. It never says speak to the children of Israel and everybody else with them, and speak to these people either. It only says to the children of Israel. Martin Luther King never taught that. Right? And they said, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord, to the Most High God of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, have commanded us. Verse 4, then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah. I ask this question right here, right now. And I say this all the time. If blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians got together right now and just say, you know what, Donald Trump, y'all can have America. We're going to leave. Somebody answer me in the chat, please. What do you think would happen if all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians just threw their hands up and say, you know what? We're going to leave this place. We don't know where we're going to go, but we're leaving. We're leaving America. We're going to leave. What would happen? Anybody? Anybody? Please, somebody. Please tell me what would happen. All right? What would happen if we all just left Virginia, Washington, Florida, Baltimore, Alabama, California? What if we just left? What if we just packed up everything? What if we all left just in Mexico? Everybody left Mexico. What would happen? Sister Raya said they would beg us to stay. Nah, they ain't gonna beg us to stay. They ain't gonna beg us. But that would sound like something they would say, because they do need us, but that ain't what they ain't gonna beg us. They ain't gonna fall on their knees. And America would be destroyed. And that is exactly why, for time's sake, you're right, sis. America would be destroyed if we left. And guess what? To prevent that from happening, they would drop bombs on us.
Right.
They would drop a nuclear bomb on the caravan.
Yeah.
While we're leaving with nothing. Why? How do I know this? Is that not what Pharaoh did? Is that not what Pharaoh did? That's what you're seeing with these people, with the Persians. It said, then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah. What does it mean to weaken their hands? It means they cause problems for them. They put dogs on them. They put water hoses on them. They went into the towns, Tulsa, Oklahoma. They went into Wilmington, North Carolina. They went into Rosewood, Florida, and they burned the towns down. And Martin Luther King said, listen, don't worry about that. I got a dream today. Join with them. But the real prophets of the Bible said no. Salakia, sir, if I could, I don't even need Message Jesse. He ain't even nobody. We know he ain't nothing. Can I get the clip of the meeting in 1968? This is a meeting in 1968 that we're about to pull up right here. And I need y'all to see these clips, man. I need y'all to see these clips, and I need y'all to understand it. It's this one right here. I want y'all to pay attention. This is a meeting in 1968 in Chicago. This meeting is crazy. I want y'all to listen to this. Listen to what's going on, man. Need y'all to listen to this. Pay attention. Pay close attention, man. Pay close attention to what it is, man, and what's going on.
Question to Reverend Mitchell. Do you think that we will be satisfied with the jobs they are giving us?
Yes, son, I think so. Simply because we are asking that you be trained on the job, and they start you off with a certain salary starting rates, and you would be promoted up to the maximum of the job.
No, I don't believe that. The white man is gonna keep you where he got you. You're not going no higher than he wants you to go.
You pause it right there.
And we ain't gonna settle for nothing but
Listen, now this is a pastor, right? He was a prominent pastor in Chicago. He was down with the civil rights movement and all of that. Now he's supposed to went into this council or whatever with the oppressor and was supposed to have been asking for jobs and better. This young man asked him, you know, about the jobs, if they would provide better jobs. What was he going to do? He said, oh, I went in and I asked them to give y'all. Oh, he's lying. This pastor is lying. The young man sat and said, listen, I don't believe you, because the white man he only gonna give you what he want to give you, and he only gonna let you get as high as he gonna let you. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, he's only going to let you get as high as he wants you to get. Epstein Island, Jay-Z, all of your celebrities. They will only get as high as they are allowed. You cannot be what you want to be. You will be what they tell you to be. This young brother is telling this man that he's a bold-faced liar. First of all, how you walked in there in this meeting with these senators and told them, foist of all. Foist. I never trust an old black man talk like that, no way. Foist you. Foist nothing. Foist, I told them to pay you. No, you didn't. No, you did not. Go ahead, sir. Bubba Kashaw, please, sir.
All the way. And about this violence and non-violence, I'm for violence. Because we have pleaded for the last 400 years.
What would you say to a boy like that? Because this happens to be, coincidentally, the young man in the group that Mr. Meek said you did not speak for. How would you talk to a young boy like that?
Well, I would say I would definitely have to use the Bible, Mr. Duncan.
No, I don't hear that.
Well, this is my own way.
I ain't no Uncle Tom.
Well,
See,
salvation
you
is
can't
free,
brainwash me.
Jesus said, first ye seek the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and all of these things will be added.
Heaven.
He said, foist. There it is, that foist. Foist, what I would say, I got to use the Bible on this one. Now we're about to see if he's using the wisdom and the knowledge of the Bible. He's going to talk about salvation. He said, first you must know salvation. The salvation in the Bible ain't what this brother talking about. We're going to prove it. Go ahead, sir, please, Bubba Kashaw.
Is on earth, mind you, brother.
He said heaven was on earth.
Yeah. Let me see.
The brother said heaven is on earth.
You have anything more? How about the other lad?
Where you gonna go when we start revolution? Whose side are you gonna be on? Are you still gonna be on your knees begging for us jobs?
I will, as Mr. Meek said, he wouldn't die standing on his feet rather than die on his knees. I will die standing up for God, regardless of any circumstance.
Okay. Have God ever told you to let this white man rule you like he is?
Stop it right there, sir. I don't even need to hear nothing else. First I'm gonna die standing on my knees for God. Shugga-lugga boom, shugga-lugga. I'm gonna die first for standing for God. Let me tell you what salvation is according to the Bible, man. The Lord never told us to let our oppressor keep ruling over us. He never told us to let them rule with us. He never told us to join with them. You understand? The Lord said in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7, he said, when I give ye the land that I give you to possess, what to do to the people over there? He told us to utterly destroy them. And neither give your sons or your daughters to their sons and daughters. Do not make marriages with them. The Lord told us to be a separate people. Separation, not segregation. That is the message all month long that the brothers in the ISUPK under Commanding General Hunter will be teaching. Separation over segregation. You have to separate from this devil, because those young brothers right there was breaking down one West. How long you gonna be on your knees praying? That brother was cutting him like, oh man.
Listen, he said, did your God tell you?
Did your God?
Did your God tell you this for this white man to rule over you?
Did your God tell you to let him rule over you? No, he didn't. Because guess what? In the book of Luke chapter 1. I'm gonna bring this out, man. This is what salvation, he said, voice, I must speak salvation. Voiced. Let me show you what salvation is according to the scriptures, man. This is John the Baptist's father, a prophet, chosen from amongst his brethren, one like unto Moses, you understand, who speaks what the Lord told him to speak. Luke chapter 1, man. Start at verse 67. It says, and his father Zacharias was filled with the Holy Spirit. He was filled with a separate spirit, meaning his vibe was different from everybody else. His vibe was all about the Most High. His vibe was all about Christ. His vibe was all about revolution and separation, not segregation, not coming in and segregating ourselves amongst these people, man. Joining to our enemy, letting them rule over us. We want freedom. Here's freedom in the Bible. It says, and prophesied. He's prophesying. He's speaking in the reputation of the Lord. You understand? It says, saying, 68, blessed of the Most High God of Israel, for he have visited and redeemed his people. Meaning he has came to his people. The Lord is here with his people. He's coming. He's visited us and he has redeemed us. Meaning he's brought us back from something. He's repurchased us. You understand? Right? The brother said he got to teach first. He would start with salvation. Well, we're going to start with first, with salvation first. We're going to first give you salvation. You understand? And he have visited and redeemed his people and have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets. These were the prophets after all of Isaiah, Jeremiah, Moses, all of these brothers going and sleeping with their fathers years and years. And all the way down to this prophet, the message was the same, that the Lord God only dealt with Israel and he was going to save his people. Right? And it's talking about he have raised up a horn of salvation. The horn of salvation he's talking about is Christ. Sitting on the throne of David, not sitting on the throne of Epstein Island or Trump. You understand? And watch this. As he spake by the mouths of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. That means what the Lord said has not changed. Since Adam. Since Adam, it has been the same. The Lord does not change, man. He's not changing because Martin Luther King wants to sleep with so-called mayonnaise people. He want to get mayonnaise on his elbow. He wanted on his elbow, his knee, his chin, all of it. And the Lord did not tell him to teach us that. You understand? Since the beginning of the world. Verse 71, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. That is salvation, brothers and sisters, according to the scripture. That Negro pastor that sat in there, that civil rights movement pastor, but first, I got to use the Bible and come and tell him salvation and the forgiveness. That is not salvation, brother. Salvation is to get away from Donald Trump through Christ, through the words of the Most High Power, man. Do y'all not see that? Do you not see it? Man, listen. I'm about to read Martin Luther King, man. And remember, all of this, remember, in the book of Deuteronomy 18, it said that the prophet that come and say something in my name, his life will be required of him. You understand? Listen, man. I want y'all to understand this, right? Martin Luther King gave y'all his dream and gave us his dream because he thought we was fools. Let me give y'all this right here, and then I'm going to give y'all Martin Luther King in the Bible, man, before the time wind out. Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, we're going to start at verse 1. Y'all pay close attention to this, because this is the Bible. This is what's in the Bible. You understand? We're going to teach you what is in the Bible. All right? We ain't going to give you a dream. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 34, verse 1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false. Martin Luther King, right? MLK was a man void of understanding. He did not understand the scriptures. He was not the Deuteronomy 1 man. He was not that prophet that was supposed to have been wise amongst our people. He did not understand the Bible. He was not wise. He did not have wisdom. Okay? His understanding was vain and false. It was a lie. It was unprofitable lie. The dream was an unprofitable lie. Right? And dreams lift up fools. Martin Luther King's dream lifted up the fools of the Lord's people. You understand? Him standing out there at the Washington Monument, which is even more diabolical, because we'll get into that in another class. You understand? But he said he had a dream, and this dream was for you Christian fools. This was a dream to trick fools. Martin Luther King thought that we were fools. He thought that your great-great-granddaddy, your uncle, your mom, he thought they was fools. And he told them this dream, right? Verse 2, whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow. You can't catch your shadow. You'll never catch a dream. The Bible is telling you that your dreams do not come true. Your dreams do not come true. I don't care if your dream was just to play football in the NFL. You know how many people had that dream? You think just because a couple of you fools made it there that we think that dreams come true? No, they do not. I wanted to go to the NFL and the NBA. My dream didn't come true. I ended up being the MVP, all right. MVP of nickel bags. You understand? The MVP of nickel bags. The MVP of destruction. Being destroyed. Watching my friends be unalive. In and out of jail. Being a problem. Just like so many of my other brothers and sisters. But we heard the voice of the Lord. We heard the voice of the true prophets. And the Lord allowed us to hear it. And allowed us to come into this holy place. And change our lives. Because we heard the words of real prophets. We didn't hear the voice of Martin Luther King. And I thank God for it. You understand? I'm glad I was born in a time where I could find out who Martin Luther King really was, who Al Sharpton really was, who Pastor Jamal Bryant and all the T.D. Jakeses, who they all were. I chose to follow Commanding General Young. I chose to follow the generals, the captains, and the officers in this school because they were prophets risen up out of the mist of the ghettos and the barrios across this country, man. You understand? And they didn't follow no dream. They didn't try to chase their dreams because trying to catch the dream at a shadow and follow it after the wind just blow you away. You go in any direction not knowing where you go. Verse 3, the vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another. What does that mean? Your visions, when you go, how many of y'all, when y'all go to sleep, right, at night, right? When you lay down in your bed, where your dreams come from? Where do your dreams come from? Do your dreams come from the Most High? Where they come from? I'll tell you. You make your dreams. When you lay down, you already know what you want to dream about. You make your own dreams. You're following. The dream is something you made, you created. It wasn't a vision from the Most High. You understand? Even as the likeness of a face to a face. This dream may mean something, but this dream, you got this dream and this dream. Are these dreams the same? Do they mean the same thing? No, they don't. Martin Luther King said he had a dream that little boys, white girls, black boys, black girls could all hold hands. That was a dream of another thing. Martin Luther King's real dream that he had was to have an orgy with so-called oppressor women, with YT women. That was his dream. It was like a face looking at another face. To you, it seemed like he was preaching, oh, let's come together. But he was really saying, get with them so I can sleep with these white women. And I won't look bad for doing it. Right? And it goes on and it says, verse 4, of an unclean thing, what can be cleaned? What can be cleaned by the so-called white man? He is unclean. How could he clean up anything when he is the filth and the scum of the earth? You understand? And from that thing which is false, what truth can come? What truth came from Martin Luther King's dream? Verse 5, divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain. Going to Miss Cleo to call her now. Where that lead you? Going to try to go to somebody to get them to sit in front of you and ask, oh, where my mama at? Can you tell my mama? What was the movie? Whoopi Goldberg, Ghost. Black people, Hispanic people is going to people asking them where Patrick Swayze at. Is Patrick Swayze in the room?
Crazy word.
Can Patrick Swayze, Lord, please, oh, touch me, Patrick. Touch my hand, let me know you're here. You got Whoopi Goldberg dressed up in purple, her eyes rolling on the back of her head. Patrick come in the room. You understand? That stuff is vain. That's what Martin Luther King gave us. A vain, foolish dream, man. Jeremiah, man. Book of Jeremiah. Chapter 23, man. Verse 25. I'm going to just give it to you, man. This is Martin Luther King, man. This is what the Lord said about Martin Luther King. Jeremiah 23 and 25. I have heard what the prophet said. The Lord said, I have heard what the prophet said, man. Lord said he heard it. He heard it, what the prophets have said. You understand? That prophesy lies in my name. That speak words in the reputation of the Lord. They're saying the Lord said thus and thus. The Lord said, Martin Luther King said the Lord gave him this dream. You understand? But that's what the Lord is saying about Martin Luther King. You understand?
Right.
He said that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. I have dreamed. The Lord said in verse 26, how long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. When the Bible talks about your heart, it's talking about your mind. Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, all of them were corrupt men. All the way down to Bishop T.D. Jakes, all of them. Every last one of them. You understand? Before we come up on the time though, Salakia, sir, if I could you play the one with the Edomite woman, the video with the Edomite woman? I want to read this to y'all because this is what prophets should teach. This is what Martin Luther King. I want y'all to see these are the people. I want you to see them. I know you see them, but sometimes you got to hear some of the things. Matter of fact, we can start here with this one, sir. Yeah, let's start with this. Let's go with the NAACP. Let's start breaking some of this right here down. I want y'all to just watch these and see who really runs these organizations, man. Now, I want to give y'all a bike story real quick. Y'all do know that somebody tried to take Martin Luther King out, right? I'm going to read this sister to y'all, man. I'm going to read this sister to y'all. And I want y'all to understand this, man. Bear with me 1 second. Some of y'all probably don't even know this. Isola Curry, you understand, was a Black American woman who attempted to assassinate the civil rights leader Martin Luther King. She said that the reason why she tried to do it was that Martin Luther King was working with the communists and he was against Black people, period. That's what she tried to do. She was found guilty. Martin Luther King didn't press charges or nothing. But guess what they did to this sister? They put her into a crazy facility. Look it up. And they let her stay there until she eventually perished on to the next life at the age of like 91 or 92. But this sister said that Martin Luther King, she tried to unalive him because he was a communist. Now I want y'all to watch this right here. Go ahead if you could, sir. Now look right here. Look,
brothers, Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. That's a lie. Okay, the Spingarn brothers, Khazarian brothers, out of Eastern Europe, out of
the what? What brothers? What were they?
Eastern Europe, out of Romania, okay, including a lawyer by the name of Henry Moskowitz, who's a 31 half degree Mason of the Scottish Rite Order, who was later a member of the British Fabian Secret Society. These men, the Spingarn brothers and Henry Moskowitz, they created the NAACP. Why would they do that, Brother Apollo? We need to create an organization that we can control from behind the scenes. We can be the puppet masters that control where the money goes within the NAACP, SNCC, CORE, Urban League, okay? Every Black organization was created by non-Black people. When you look again, getting back.
Every single one, except for the ISUPK under Commanding General Young. Because all of those people they just named was Jewish, by the way. Right. They're in the Epstein files. Martin Luther King is in. He said if If he was alive today, he would be in the Epstein files. Every organization created. The Muslims, we already told you, Henry Ford, he's the savior of the black Muslims. It's all white supremacy. Where is all the money from the civil rights movement? Where's the money? That's where the money is. That's where the money is. All of those so-called leaders in the civil rights movement were broke. Right. Except for the prominent ones. They got some money. Where's the money? Where's the money? You took all this money from poor people, and that's who got the money. That's where the money went. Slack it, sir. Can we get the Edomite woman? And I'm gonna close out the class with that. I want y'all to understand this, brothers and sisters. It is time for us to come together. O nation, not desire. No one loves us. No one has ever loved us. We need to step away from America. Do y'all know it was 2 Super Bowl halftime shows? And one of them was for Americans and white Christians. But Bad Bunny, hey, listen, all of us, we here in America too. We here with y'all. They don't care because America is for Americans. You can't bring awareness to a monster. He's aware. He's aware of what he's doing. You don't think Freddy Krueger and Jason and Michael Myers was aware of what they was doing? You don't think psychopaths and mass serial unalivers, you don't think that they don't know what they're doing? You think they need awareness? No, they don't. They know what they're doing. We need the awareness. The awareness is to understand that our lives are in danger. And if we stay joined to these people, there is no hope, man. But the Lord is going to make us separate. You understand? That's it. That's the one right there, sir. You can go ahead and play it, sir.
They don't want to be disturbed. Good set of Negroes here. And they don't want to be disturbed. They really are. I have one that I just love. She nursed my children for about 6 years. And I wouldn't have her want for a thing if I found out that she needed something. And I was right amused when my daughter from Arlington, Virginia came down. She was one of the children that Missy had nursed. And I got my son to drive us out to see Missy. And she had also nursed him. And his little boy was in the car with us. And when Missy came out, she said, "Look at my children." And she put her arm right around William's shoulder. And the little boy just looked up at her, he didn't know what to make of it. And I said, "Listen, Billy, she was a mother to him for a while."
Stop.
I tell you, she's helped nurse him.
This white woman is telling a story about her maid. A black woman named Missy that nursed her children, that breastfed her children. First of all, I want y'all to think about this. And I'm going to hurry up. It's 8:52. But I want y'all to understand this. And I'm going to read this last scripture to show this is what they should have been teaching. In order for a black woman to breastfeed another baby, that means she had to have been pregnant or had a baby. But this white woman that hate this woman gave her babies, and she held them in her arms and breastfed them to the point when they visited her, she called them a chillin'. And one of the children that she nursed, the son, that white woman's son, his son saw the black woman Missy hugging his daddy. And he looked up and she said, "I had to tell him." Oh, he didn't know what to make of it. He had to tell him, oh, she took care of him when he was little. That's because in that house, that son was teaching to hate black folk. That's why that baby looked at her like, what's going on? Because in the house, they don't love black people. Don't confuse because a white person one white person look at you and say, "Oh, I like you." He like you for a reason, because you know how to be a good nigger. You know how to nurse they chilling. You understand? And notice in the beginning, she said, we got some colored folks that don't want to be bothered with it. They like being slaves. Martin Luther King loved being a slave. Every prophet, so-called prophet or pastor today loves being a slave. But let me tell you something. The wheels turn around. Isaiah 49 and 23. Let me read this and I'm going to close the class out. The book of Isaiah, chapter 49 and 23. Bear with me, y'all. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. This is the Lord telling us that when Christ come back, Donald Trump and all of them, they gonna take care of our children. and when I say they're gonna take care of our children, they're gonna nurse our children, they're going to serve them hand and foot in the fields. My woman better not put my baby mouth up to no white woman teat. Right. You won't nurse my baby, but guess what you will do? You will make sure that if it's mud on the ground, that my baby don't step in it when he getting into his vehicle. That's what you will do. You will make sure that the water, that the grass is lawn, is clean, mowed, so my children can play. This is in the Bible. You understand? Let's continue. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, meaning they're going to get on their knees and put their face to the earth. They will bow and lick up the dust of thy feet, and they will kiss the feet of the prophets and their wives and their children. Separation, not segregation. All right. And with that, we're going to read the security announcements. We're going to get y'all up out of here, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this class, man. Because listen, man, this is just the truth, man. This is what we got to overcome. We shall overcome, though. They was right about that. We shall overcome. But it's gonna be without them. You understand? We gonna overcome with Christ, man. We gonna overcome with the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana, because this is where the Spirit of the Lord dwells. You understand? The ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for a year. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. They need transportation. The teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, after a year, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10, means 10th in Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you. What you want to do is go to the ISUPK.com, right? Go there, and up in the left corner is a blue box that says donation and tithes. You go there, send your tithes or your donations, all right? Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. The upcoming holy convocation is the Feast of Purim. It'll be next month. You want to be looking on the bulletin boards and getting up with your camp leaders for the times and the dates. You understand? Coming up soon, and you'll know how to roll out for that. All right. Any brother want to come into the school? You need to wear to be a trooper. You need to wear all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. Any sister want to come into school, come in with a head, with your head wrapped up, covered, with your head covered, and with a long, modest dress. All right. With that, we're gonna give a courtesy salute to the highest ranking man in the room. Sisters Yeshabia, men of Israel, I imagine. We're gonna give a courtesy salute to the highest ranking man in the room. Men of Israel, I imagine Shabbat, I imagine Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat Yada Matah. Imagine sisters stand. Brother Saw, turn to the sisters. We're gonna give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I imagine Shabbat, I imagine Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Thun Ba'Ashim Yahweh Shai. Y'all Matah, class dismissed.
It's that time of year. We're going to be in Houston, Texas from April 1st to April 5th, celebrating the Lord's 57th annual Passover under Commanding General Yohana. Jam-packed, full of events, line dancing, fishing, horseback riding, rides for the kids, bounce houses, and the annual lamb slaughter held at the BH Ranch. And it ain't no party like the all-black party, the annual all-black party. 14149 Player Street in Houston, Texas. You know it's gonna be lit. All leading up to Saturday, April 4th, the Lord's 57th annual Passover. You still got time. Go to isupk.com to pay your Passover fee. 18 and over, $200. You do not want to miss the Lord's 57th annual Passover. Houston, Texas. Shalom.